Hi there, it's me again. This time I'm going to talk about doing the paper without art. I mean, what do you need me for? I charge $2,000. Do it without me. Well, for your reference, I get a lot of calls and they always ask, Art, how come you give so much information on your website? And I'll tell you the truth. I give all the information because it ain't enough. It's just touching the surface. I get emails and I get calls, and people are always thanking me. My video, the couple of channels on YouTube, I have over 200,000 views. Yet, I've only trained a couple of hundred people. But anyhow, I get emails, and they're always telling me, Art, thank you so much. You motivated me to do a paper. I'm going to start my own paper thanks to you. I could have never done it without you. And I send them back the email and I say, listen, it was a pleasure. I'm glad I could help you. And the bottom line, but then I tell them, do me a favor. When you print your first paper, send me a copy. Oh, yeah. They're all going to send me a copy. It's been years now, and I've never gotten a copy from anybody who ever said they were going to get the paper printed. They never get it done. They want to get it done, but as easy as I make it sound, it's a little bit more difficult. It can be easy with me leading you every step of the way, helping you fill out the forms, teaching you how to do the ads, so it could be easy, but on your own, it's really like a maze of confusion. I mean, even the first night, I will teach you, and you will do a nice ad, because you're looking at my ad, and I'm telling you what to do, and I'm watching what you're doing. So your first ad is really good, usually no problem. The problem happens on your second ad and your third ad when you do it on your own without me looking over your shoulder. Then you send the ads to me and I correct them and I show you how I corrected them and I show you what you did wrong. And often we're going back and forth with ads 10, sometimes 20 times before you get it right. And most of the students, they're not salespeople, so they're not used to selling on paper, which is really what you're doing when you're creating an ad. You're selling, and you've got a certain amount of space to sell in, and that's what you have to do there. But anyhow, I've never had a student who was able to do the ads good on their own without me teaching them how to do it. And the thing is, the people that you're trying to get business from, these are businesses that have been advertising, and most of them are advertising with newspapers and Valpaks and all kind of print media, and often the person that's doing their ad is somebody who's been doing graphic arts for 20 years, like me. It's not someone like you, believe me. And when you bring them the ad, when you're just learning to do ads, they're not going to go for it. They're not going to bite. So it's not as simple as it seems. Even the printing, it's very involved. I mean, just finding the right printer where you're going to be able to get 10,000 12-page all-color newspapers for under 10 cents. Good luck with that. Finding the right kind of printer, knowing what specifications he wants from you, what type of files, what type of software he wants you to use. Any little mistake, the printer will take your money. You always have to pay them up front. But even if you find the printer, no matter what you send him, he's not going to be checking your work and making sure that it's perfect, that you're going to be successful. He's going to print. And if you wind up with 10,000 papers that were misprinted, it's not his fault. He can only print what you supply him. So he's not concerned really. He wants his money up front, And then all the weight of the paper being successful and the way you wanted or thought it was going to come out is on your shoulders. So it's not so easy to get the paper printed. Another thing is the bulk mailing. Oh, it was like torture. It took me months to learn because the post office people, they don't like any extra work. They hated me when I would keep coming to the post office and badgering them for the information. And they did whatever they could to mess up my mailings. You know, the less that they deliver, the less that they work, the happier they are. They're government employees. They're not getting paid commission. So they really hate to see you when you bring this stuff in. So if you bring it in and your documents are not A1 perfect, they will kick it back. And even worse than that, sometimes they'll put it through the system and it will not get to the people you're even mailing it to. Just one little mistake on the forms, and there's quite a few of them, or a mistake on your insignia, and your papers are not going to get where you thought they'd be going. So there really is a lot involved in becoming a successful newspaper person, and I've been through it. I've been there, done that, and I've been successful with a number of papers, and I help a lot of people do the same thing as me. But I'll tell you the truth, none of them could have done it without me. And if you can, that'd be great. Send me the paper. But a lot of times what happens too is they try and do it and they run into a brick wall and then they wind up doing nothing. Just staying in the dead-end job that they were in, or even worse, sometimes they're out of work. Sometimes they have no choice. They can't afford to pay me the $2,000. I mean, you know, I have to lay out money for software, for printing, for manuals, all my time. Some people can't afford it, but if you can afford it, don't waste the opportunity. You could look at it this way. You could be buying a Valpak franchise. There's hundreds of franchisees across the country. Look, the envelope just came today. Just came in my mailbox. Where I was doing my paper, look at all the little papers I got to go through. Oh, what a job. The territory where I was doing my paper in North and South Carolina. I'm back in New York now, so I don't do the paper anymore. I'm too busy training people. But the idea is I chase them out of my territory. But anyhow, they get $75,000 for a franchise. And they do not teach you how to do the business. They do the graphic arts for you. You got to pay for that. They do the printing for you. You got to pay for that. And it's no different than my business. You got to go out and get the customers. You have to visit the businesses. You get a particular territory, but then you're in the same boat. You got to go out and get the customers. And when you get your customers and you have a Valpak franchise, you got to come up with royalties for them, a part of the overall gross. When I put my publishers into business, they have no overhead. They're doing their own graphic arts. They're working with my printer directly, or they're working with a printer in close proximity to where they live. There's nobody making any money off their printing. There's no royalties. They're able to charge half the price of Valpak and become rich. Half the price of Clipper magazine, half the price of Coffee News, half the price of everybody. So when you sign on for my training, you should feel like you've saved $73,000. Don't feel like you're spending $2,000, because really there isn't any businesses you can get into for $2,000 that don't have any startup costs, and you'll get your first paper out at a profit. Your deposits will more than pay for your printing and your mailing, and so you will make money just collecting the deposits. And after I'm done preparing you, you'll go out super prepared and credible with a great presentation book showing the maps of where you're mailing to, showing the postal receipts, showing my sample paper, which will close the sales for you. Check it out on another category. There's all kind of self-promotion in my newspaper, so even if you're not a salesperson, you will sell advertising. So, call me up. Give me your zip codes. I'll check and see if your demographics are good for this business. I'll help you make out and figure out a good business plan, and I'll do this for free. And I'll continue to make videotapes, and I'll continue to tell you how great and how easy and how every customer I went to bought the advertising from me, how magnificent this business is. But don't be fooled. It's only easy if you're learning from someone who's been there, done that successfully. Otherwise, you could be losing a lot of money, and you're surely going to be wasting a lot of time. So don't be a stranger. Call me up. I'll go over your location, the demographics, how many businesses there are. Some zip codes, there's not enough businesses. It's too residential. You'll have to move to the next zip code. What if you don't know that? Oh my God, you wouldn't have customers to call on. But anyhow, call me up. Any question you have, I'll have the answers, because like I say, been there, done that, and I've done it successfully. Okay, I don't say I did it successfully the first year. I admit it. I messed up some newspapers. I messed up some mailings. But it was years ago, and I learned the hard way, and now you can benefit from my experience and my losses. You don't have to absorb them. Anyhow, don't be a stranger. Call me up. Before you call me up, click on every category on the left side. Watch all the videos and watch them over and over, because the more you're prepared, the easier it's going to be for me to make you successful, and that's my goal. Because you're calling me up at my house, and if I don't make you successful, you're liable to wake me up in the middle of the night, and nobody's done that since I started in 2009, because I make my publishers successful, and if they're not successful, it's because they haven't gone out to sell the advertising. Anyhow, don't be a stranger. Study my website, and I'll be putting on more and more videos. This is the business opportunity you've been waiting for, and I'm really busy lately. So before you press the buy now button, call up and make sure that I have time to work with you. Thank you very much for your time today, and I'll be looking forward to working with you. And again, send me your paper. Bye.